All right. Welcome to the Village of North Hudson Public Works Committee meeting of July 18, 2023. We are beginning at 5:42 p.m. because we had a little technical difficulty here with Zoom. But item number one is call to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Keller.
Here.
Trustee Merrill.
Here.
Chair Pike.
Here. All right. Item number two, approve the minutes of April 18, 2023. Need a motion.
So moved.
Have a second.
A second.
Okay, Dusty seconded. Any comments or concerns about the last one? Matt, we did have, if you go back and look at those meeting minutes, Patrick was supposed to be bringing, which I forgot, I should have told you, the list of capital equipment that we're going to buy this year and show us where we're at on purchasing that. And then we start working on adding to it for the next year.
Okay.
So maybe for next meeting, we could get that. But other than that, in the minutes, I didn't have anything else. So in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. Item 3 is comments from the floor. We have nobody here. Item number 4, water and wastewater metering discussion only. We are still working on some pricing related to that, so we're going to table that for tonight. Item number 5, GIS mapping of village utilities discussion and possible recommendation. So you'll notice in your packet that there is an email from Kevin to Melissa regarding the cost of GIS mapping. Thoughts and comments?
Well, Kevin, since you're here, why don't you talk about the email?
Okay. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me.
Well, at this point, you should probably go on and I'll mute up here.
All right. So yeah, Melissa had requested a proposal for actually to do the GIS mapping for all the utilities within the village. So that would include all of your water main items, sanitary sewer, and then storm sewer. So basically there's a summary down below that'll give you an idea of how many like how many hydrants, how many gate valves, how many sanitary manholes, storm sewer manholes, storm sewer inlets, and then the water services. So those would be like all of your curb stops. So you can see there's roughly a little over 1,800 of those. If you remember when we started up the mapping for the village actually did purchase a GPS unit. With that, it was just under, I think, $10,000. So this would assume that we would be able to use that particular piece of equipment, which would save the village some dollars if we were able to do that. And otherwise, we'd have to charge another $35 per hour to actually use our unit. So based on that, we came up with estimated cost between $60,000 to $65,000 for that work. You know, that's a pretty big number. So our thought was to try to spread that out. You know, you could do that over a couple of years, a couple budget cycles to basically bring that number down. So something that could work within your budget. And we would do that on a time materials cost instead of a lump sum, because there's typically a lot of variables when you go out there and do that kind of work. A lot of upfront coordination with the village to try to locate actually where the curb stands are. Typically we like to have, go out and put like little flags at each of those. So it just speeds up our process to actually do the field work. So in a nutshell, that's where all that stuff came out.
So what
So what's missing?
That's everything for the village.
So wouldn't we have our hydrants and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's,
they're in there? Okay,
yep, that would be all.
so that
included.
covers everything that you would want on a GIS map. I'm asking Matt.
Yeah, you're gonna have your stands on there if you locate them.
Yep.
Yep.
And then like all the manholes, like sanitary manholes and inlets, we would actually pull, we call it inverts. So actually the depth of those structures. And then, what the pipe sizes are. Going through the manhole, coming out of the inlets. We would have all that information provided as well, and that would be uploaded into the village's GIS mapping. So you have maps that are readily available for use.
Okay,
Appreciate breaking that down, Kevin. Guys, I want to know a little bit more of what they're doing, but yeah, it sounds right.
Okay, thank you.
any comments or questions?
We already have all the equipment to be able to do that.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
so why don't we just do that? I mean, if Kevin's gonna do it over a couple of years, why can't the village do it over a couple of years to save a bunch of money?
Whoa, right now, we've only got 2 guys, and when we had 3 guys, we couldn't get to it. We were outsourcing to somebody a few pieces of it. Jess did some of it when she had time, but at the rate Jess was doing it, would take us the next 15 years.
But I'm just curious because Kevin's gonna do it over the next couple of years, if we're fully staffed. And then we will be able to accomplish the same thing over the next couple of years at a much reduced price.
Good point. Dusty,
No. Yeah, I know. I like what you're saying there as well.
Matt, if we were full staffed, and as you know, I'm going for one more. Could we do some of this?
With training, yeah, but it's gotta be more than it's gotta be like actual in-depth training on how to use it, how to troubleshoot it, when you get out there, when we attempted it. Just the issues that arise, we're not, it's a system we spent, I think we had an hour class on.
Yeah, I mean, we-
do a lot more in-depth training on how to use the GIS, how to link it to the satellite.
Wasn't that part of the deal?
Yeah, I think we've been up. Well, I know originally when we bought it, we had Patrick and another employee come down. And then
Was that you?
No, that was
Yeah.
before.
Okay, so we would need new training, and we would want to get our next 2 guys on, our next
Yeah.
guy at least. All right, why don't we push this to next meeting for further discussion, if that's okay with Dusty and Jen.
That's fine, we can table it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right, so that takes us to item 6, which we are tabling. Item 7, the purchase of riding lawnmower, discussion and possible recommendation. So Matt, you want to go through what we're doing here? And there is one of these sheets kind of does a breakdown. I asked them to get us a breakdown of the mowers that it has the 3 mowers we have when we purchased and what we paid for them. And then in what Matt's going to give us, there is what he is suggesting we do.
So we went out to Tri-State Bobcat and Hudson, Baldwin, the Johnson tractor, and the rest of the John Deere, all the same comparable motors, they're mowers. They all have the same engines, hydraulic pumps on them, so it's basically just the paint is the difference. So yes, most advantageous would be the cost-effective one from Bobcat at $39.64. Virtually the same machine as the John Deere, the company that all have the same horsepower, same cutting capability, and same warranty.
Okay,
And the advantage of the Bobcat is just the location. It's easy for us to get parts and we get it there for service.
are you able to hear him? Dusty?
Yep.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, obviously, he's wanting to take were you talking about the John Deere X734?
No, but be the Bobcat, comes
Mhm.
3964 after the trade-in of 6,800 and,
Oh, yeah, but the trade-in is the John Deere X
Yep.
734, which was purchased in 2017. As he explained it to me, not being a zero turn, that's not one that we're really using. And so we're gonna get a bigger bang for our buck, trading that one in, right?
yeah, it's at 41 hours since 2017 on it, so it's not a utilized machine. Just because you can mow a lot quicker with the zero turns.
Any comments from Dusty or Jen?
Yeah, so, in the past, we've always tried to auction these items. Why don't we try to auction this and make more money off of it? Is it your goal to have 3 mowers?
With a full staff, that'd be ideal. As far as auctioning it off, I think that's something we could.
And it's not budgeted in this year's budget. And my understanding that with Nathan and Patrick from before, they really scrutinized the budget, to try to get you guys your raises. So this wasn't in the budget and it's a pretty good expenditure. I think maybe at least looking into the possibility of auctioning it. Since we're not fully staffed anyway, you don't need 3 mowers, correct?
The grasshopper is fixed now, so we're back up to 3 mowers, correct? So no, it's not an immediate need.
Was this not on the budget? You talked to Nathan about?
Yeah, he said it was budgeted at 9,200.
Okay, I thought it was a budgeted item.
It was,
We wouldn't have
quote that
looked,
was turned in was for a Toro.
we wouldn't have looked at it otherwise.
Okay, I was told it was budgeted. Anyway, again, if you wanted to auction, the option might be making more money off the equipment, which is kind of,
If it's not being used, as you said, and we have the time to auction it, then we're not in a rush for it, right? The new one.
I mean,
I guess it doesn't matter to me. The trade-in,
Do you think we can get more than 6,800 in an auction and then
That's
pay
what I
the
don't know.
20%? Because we still have to pay auction fees.
we have done trade-ins on this kind of equipment before. We do it on the skid steer, for example.
I just think if we're not in any rush, why not at least entertain the idea?
The trucks,
the salesman said that there's 2 cost increases coming by January. He didn't give me the, so I mean, that's the only reason to not wait. Other than that, the auction seems like a better option.
I have no idea, and I don't know how he was doing the auction. I'm guessing,
We use that Wisconsin surplus auction.
is that what it was?
Yep, and I guess I'm not super familiar with it. I don't know if there's a risk, if you're allowed to use a reserve on it, if we could lose money. I'm not sure of that.
Well, all right,
I've used Wisconsin surplus before.
if we're not in a rush again, and this is a budgeted item, let's do 2 things. Let's verify it with Nathan, because I had asked him for a list of what our budgeted items were that we, and things went a little crazy for a while, so we probably just forgot. But I need that list anyway, and I want you to have that list to make sure we don't miss anything. So let's do this. Let's get the items that are budgeted still for this year. Approximately, usually he gave a date of when he wanted to buy something. And that should hopefully we can find that. And then look into the auction thing. If we can actually make more money on something that's only got 41 hours on an auction versus a trade-in, I guess it behooves us to check.
Okay.
Okay. All right, does that sound fair?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, let's do that. You guys are gonna make my next meeting a bigger one. All right, let's see. That takes us to item number 8, street sweeping contract discussion and possible recommendation. Where is that? Mike McPhillips. So there's a letter from Mike. So I need a motion. Is this for the fall?
No, the fall, we're still at the 125 rate. That's for 2024.
Yeah.
That will be the 2024 municipality rate.
Okay, and this will cover the next year.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is for 2024, so I need a motion. Dusty,
Yeah, motion
yeah, you gotta make
For
it
the-
specific.
yeah, no, motion to to move forward with the bid sweeping for streets. For 2024 at 140 per hour.
Second.
Okay, so did you hear that motion? He was-
Do I could go. I motion to go with the bid to sweeps the streets for the village of North Hudson for the 2024 rate of 140 per hour.
And Jen seconded. Okay. All right, any further discussion? If not, all about the spending issue, Dusty?
Aye.
Aye.
And yes, okay, unanimous. All right. Item number 9 is infected street grants, infected trees grants. Okay, on this one, I believe I have in part brought some of this up, and then Matt brought some of it up. I have behind my house some infected, what looks like oak wilt on a neighboring property. And the property owner has gotten a tree person to come in and take a look, and they're gonna start trying to take them down. And that same tree guy is talking to me about whether I should have them, my trees treated, because my trees almost are all oak. And red oak is susceptible. Matt and I talked to Abby at the PNR about this issue. Matt has discovered that there are some smaller grants. Doesn't know that we would qualify Kevin for bigger grants. But I was wondering if we could get your help on getting these grants going for the trees that will be infected for the village in particular that we could lose. And I'm assuming we do have some oaks in our parks and wherever.
Yeah, there's separate grants, one's for Emerald Ash Borer, one's for Oak Wilt.
Okay,
So there are 2 separate grants that they're 50-50 split.
okay,
Village that can be offset by equipment hours and labor hours and any associated equipment for our portion of the 5,000 contribution, if that's the way we went.
so if we're doing the work,
Note that
yeah,
we will do part of it.
Okay.
And then a contract with tree service would be taking down the trees that are beyond our ability with our equipment.
okay,
And then as far as stump grinding, tree hallway, stuff like that would be awesome. That's how we could offset our contribution of 5,000.
okay. So will you two work together on getting these grants going? Yeah. We should get all the grants we can every year, you know. And I know you've got other grants coming that you're gonna, you can talk about in your part of the agenda here. So any questions about the infected tree grants that we're trying to get? Dusty? No?
Nope. Think we should
All
do
right.
all we can.
Yep. Okay, that takes us item number 10, Flex Seal status, discussion and possible recommendation. So, Matt, is there something in here for that one?
No, there's not.
Okay, so let's just talk about that one. Every year we have something budgeted. I don't know what it is, what the number is this year. Did you get a chance to ask Nathan yet?
It's got to be updated from some repairs that were made to affect the flex seal out of that.
So we did do some flex.
Some repairs,
Okay.
yeah.
But there's I think a max amount we're spending. So you just need to find out what that max amount is, what we already spent, and then plan on getting the rest of that money spent this year on Flex Seal.
Correct.
About Flex Seal. I've always wanted to do this faster than we're doing it. We're doing like 10 a year. And usually it has something to do with the part, one of the pieces are broken and we need to do repair work anyway. So we do the Flex Seal then. But if we could do this faster and I forget the total number, we're in the 300s. 322 comes to mind. on all the things that we would want flex seal. So that's storm sewer outlets, it's manholes, and what else?
Storm sewers and manholes, and then any, deteriorating outlets.
Okay. All right, so for next agenda, killing myself on this next agenda. If you could get that number and tell us approximately when you can get those flex seal guys scheduled to come out and do the whatever.
I've reached out to them and they've gotten back with a list of some of the ones that would like to use the budget for.
Okay, so if you give us a specific number that you're doing, it's an amount you're gonna spend, we'll take it up to the finance committee and we'll get everybody's approval and we'll be good to go.
Okay.
Sound good, Jen?
Sure.
Yep.
Dusty? Yep.
Yep.
All right, item number 11, snow plowing contract discussion and possible recommendation. Do we have that in here?
Gary's gonna get that to us.
Okay,
And loader and the grader will be a little higher this year, but everything else is as far as equipment costs.
okay. So the question is, for this year, I don't remember if we spent all that money. I think we bypassed it, didn't we? We needed it more than,
We've seen it.
okay. So the question that you need to figure out when you're working on this contract with them is, do we need more hours than we have been? The last few years, we weren't using it and we were giving them a check for doing nothing, basically. Being in reserve just in case we needed them. And that's kind of how we looked at it, just in case. And this year we went way past, I think, a good ways past. Think about, what do you guys think? Do we need more of him in a backup capacity than, how many hours was it that we had? It's X number of hours that we had, or no, it was an X number of dollar amount that we had. So you need to talk to him and let us know if you think that's enough, or if we need him more, and is he even available for more? I don't know what's on his plate. Any questions for
No,
Matt on this one?
Nope.
Dusty? No?
Nope.
Okay. That takes us to item 12, which is the chair update, and I'd like to welcome and let everyone in the village know we now have Matt, our new Public Works Director, on board. And is your phone able to show your picture? Just so you all can see who he is, and congratulations and thank you for coming and staying and helping us in this critical role.
I don't think so right now.
Okay. All right, well, you'll see him next week when Dusty's back, or next month
Mhm.
when Dusty's back. All right. Item 13, engineering report. Kevin.
So a couple things, the St. Croix Street, LREP reimbursement that has been submitted to the DOT and has been approved and forwarded back to the village. So that's been accomplished. I think it was roughly about $18,000 that the village received for last year's project. One thing that I was approached by the DOT is along Highway 35 from North End Road going to the north. Right,
North
as of
End
now,
Road going to the north.
yes. So into the township to the
Yeah.
north, they're looking at doing a asphaltic trail.
Oh, are they? Who said this?
The DOT is in the works of putting together the construction plans. And as of now, it's slated to be constructed next year. And one of the things that they always reach out to the village with, if there's going to be any utility conflicts. And there's one hydrant that's noted up by Cratley Lane that it looks like it's going to need to be salvaged and reinstalled at a different location. And have reached out and have asked if that's something that the village wants to do prior to the project being constructed or included as part of the project, and then they would just hire the contractor to do that on your behalf. And then you would just have to reimburse the DOT for that work.
What? Is it on the east or west side?
East side.
So they're coming down the east side of 35.
So they'll be on the west side from North End Road up to Cradley. Get through Station Lane North and then curve around and do a crossing just on the north side of Cradley and then run along the east side of Highway 35 heading north.
So why are they coming over to the west side at all?
There's a sidewalk that they're trying to connect to on that side. But as of now, that's what the route is scheduled for.
You got a picture of this route?
Yeah, yep, and I can show you that. So, but again, they're just looking, the one hydrant that's gonna be in conflict. If they
And the
want,
one hydrant is on the west side by North End?
it's on the northeast corner of
Northeast corner of
Cradley.
Cradley.
Yep.
And 35.
Yep.
So it's on the other side of Cradley, not the bank side or the fireworks place side.
No. It's just on the north side of Cradley,
Okay,
so,
what do you think, Matt?
We located it, and I believe that's why they picked that side, because it was ran into at least amount of utilities, because they called it a locate for, like an investigation. And I think that's where their determination came from, that's why it's brought over there. So,
Okay. Comments, Dusty, Jen?
I guess I'd like to see exactly what you're talking about, because I'm.
Yeah. I can definitely show you it.
Yeah, same thing. I'd like to see it.
They both want to see it. How soon do they need a decision? Can I
Not
wait- can I
right
wait
away.
Till our next board meeting?
Yeah, I
Can
can.
you get that diagram out
Mhm.
and nail where it is for everybody so they have a good idea? I think I know where you're talking about.
Yeah,
I'm just not, I didn't know they were moving forward on that trail. So. And I'm not sure how the village board would actually feel about it.
yeah, you can wait till
You know
next
what?
month.
August 1st, our next board meeting. Can you bring this up under, do we have a section where the engineer talks? I can't remember.
Typically not at the village board.
So an agenda,
I mean, it can wait till Public Works next month.
okay,
Yeah, that'd be fine.
all right, let's do that. But Matt, if you had a preference, would you rather do it now or wait for the project? Thing,
yes,
50-50.
might as well just have it ripped up once. Twice, because then there's gonna be, asphalt that's gotta be patched back.
Grass,
Time.
yeah.
Mhm.
I like that idea better too. What do you think, Dusty and Jen?
Sure.
Okay. All right, another next meeting agenda item. That takes us to item 14, director report. Matt?
Not much, the steam generator, and it's been, all the lift stations been converted, and it works on the lift stations. And those stations, other than that, it's not really.
That's a huge one. Glad to get that finally done and working. So now we don't have to call out Chris anymore. We can just go and turn them on. Depends on how many are out at once.
Just depends if the booster station goes, because that requires all-time power. So if we lost power, we still need to have another generator. But if it's just one end of town and a couple lift stations, we'll be able to bounce between them and maintain.
Okay. Anything else?
Oh,
All right, that takes us to item 15, Public Works capital equipment current and future budgeting. And so this is around about the time when we start doing it. So Patrick would bring us a list of, first a capital list, the big items that he wants to get for next year. Like, do we need to replace a truck? Is the money there to replace a truck? So he would work with Nathan on all this. And we were trying to keep the trucks, rotating every so often. He had mentioned the big one to us the last time I talked to him, thinking that we might need a second one of those. I don't know. Well, that'll be up to you. And I don't think that one's that old, right? The Mac.
No,
Okay, so, and then he has an expense budget. And that had to do with, Nathan will have to tell you the account numbers, but 200 and 210 in particular are two budgets that we would help. And then, working with Nathan, do we need raises for next year and all that stuff, everything to do with budget. But so Nathan should be able to get you a sheet, and we'd like to start including it as of our August meeting for discussion. We got to have it ready, I think, by end of October or early November. So hopefully we can settle on what we think our budget's going to look like by, let's say, mid-October. And that way, whether it's November or December, I forget the exact date, the board has to, pull all the budgets together and get that budget completed. Anybody with things that you want to see us buy in terms of capital equipment for 2024? Jen and Dusty, those are some things that you guys should think about. And New Lawn, talk to Matt about, is there something up that we could purchase that would help them? Those are the kind of things that we look for. All right, if nothing, item 16, future agenda items. Anybody have any future agenda items besides what we've already added?
I do not.
Yeah, me
I
either.
do not either.
Okay. If that's it, I think we have a new recording secretary, and I've already forgotten her first name,
Chelsea.
Chelsea. And when we have cameras in here next time, we'll let you all see her. Thank you for your help. If there's nothing else, future agenda item. And this is what?
for that 2-year replacement on the skid that you bid.
Oh, did I miss that on our?
It's not on the agenda.
Oh, it's not on the agenda. Okay, future agenda item is skid steer replacement. And Dusty and Jen, based on number of hours on the skid steer every year, 2 years, I think, I forget, we would trade this thing in and get the next model.
Correct.
And he's already got a pretty good idea what it is, but since it's not on the agenda, we'll put that on our next agenda. And this looks
Okay.
good. Thank you. All right. Any other business? Any other business? If there's no other business, we are adjourned at 6:15 p.m. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.